It is overtime here again at Old Favorite Friday, where we discuss and talk about and feature incredible classic beers that we absolutely love. And I was lucky recently to be able to go home to my home state of Michigan recently to visit some families or a family reunion. And I took it as an opportunity to bring back a bunch of beers that are just not available in South Florida, and beers I would have loved to feature on Old Favorite Friday a long time ago, but I don't have the access to them. But I do now. You'll see some of those videos coming forward. The first one that I'm going to feature here is from Shorts Brewing. It's a Huma Lupa Licious IMPERIAL IPA. This beer is fantastic. It's been around since 2004. Shorts has said that this is the first beer that was ever served on draft in their tap room, said it was the first beer they ever packaged. And while I think a lot of people know Michigan IPAs from Bell's Two Hearted because it has a lot of distribution throughout the country, I don't know what Short's distribution footprint is. It's certainly not available here in Florida, as I said. I think that this beer to Michiganders, right, as speaking as a Michigander, is kind of up there in that conversation of the quintessential IPA from Michigan. Now, Bell's have been around for a little bit longer, but serious as far as an Imperial IPA, it's a different kind of style. It does have more of like a West Coast influence, I would say, in some ways. They don't mention whether they consider it an East Coast IPA or West Coast IPA, but there's a lot of the Centennial, Chinook, Cascade Sea hop flavors in there. You get a lot of pine resin. You're picking up a lot of citrus, but it does have a bigger malt bill, and you can kind of see from that gorgeous orange golden color that this beer has that you get more breadiness in this beer to go along with those classic hop flavors, which I think is great. I love malt flavor in an IPA. I know it's kind of fallen out of fashion over the years. I like seeing some breweries that are still doing that. The bitterness is really nice in this beer because it is well-rounded. It is not at all, some people call it like bitterness, like pithy, like some unpleasant kind of bitterness. This is a real integrated kind of soft bitterness that really adds to the overall package, balances out by that nice sweet malt character that's there. And it's just a beer that I love. I wish I could have it more often. I had not had it in years, unfortunately, and it absolutely didn't disappoint. Shorts Brewing in general is a brewery that I love, and they were kind of important early on in my career as a brewer. A long time ago in a previous life when I was a brewer over at Funky Buddha, we went to one of our first big national events in the Extreme Beer Fest. And like Shorts, we were inspired by Shorts, honestly, and Dogfish Head and many others to do a lot of these culinary beers, peanut butter and jelly beers, maple bacon coffee porter, Last Snow, those kind of beers that have all those candy bar kind of flavors. And Shorts was doing those extremely well. We were at the same event, and we had our no crust peanut butter and jelly beer, and they had their peanut butter and jelly beer, which is, I believe, a blend of a peanut butter beer they do in the Soft Parade, which is a fruit beer. And the guys from Shorts, or at least a couple guys from Shorts, came over to our booth, tried our beer, and was very complimentary to us about what we were doing with our, adjunct heavy beers. And that meant a lot. I mean, for someone that was young in the industry and just getting my feet underneath me and learning about how to do this, to be at a huge event like the Extreme Beer Fest with all these great brewers, and to have somebody from my home state, a brewery that I really respected and that I kind of admired for what they did, come over and give us a little bit of love. I mean, it felt really good, and it was a great way for me to kind of continue my journey and know that I was doing a good job in making the kind of beers that I was interested in at that time. But Shorts is not just an adjunct brewery. They make really good beers across the board. You don't have to just go to their more crazy beers to find something great like their IPA, which is absolutely fantastic here. I had a lager from them while I was up north. I did not bring that down for Old Favorite Friday because I hadn't had it before. It was the first time, and it was absolutely spectacular. I brought that to my family reunion. I was happy to drink those throughout most of the day. But love Shorts. Wish I could get more of their beer. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some more of their beers and more of the beers that I remember from being a little bit younger and being in Michigan and feature them on Old Favorite Friday. But I highly suggest you guys, if you have Shorts available for you, if you have one of these near you, go pick it up, reintroduce yourself to a really great beer, a Michigan classic in this Imperial IPA. Fantastic. I think about this when I'm looking at food pairings, and I like the idea of doing like kind of a spicy Italian sausage and peppers, not necessarily going with like a heavy tomato sauce, more of like a white wine garlic, throw in a little bit of like, plum tomatoes, chopped just to get a little acidity there. But I think that would go really well. I like the kind of the greasiness, the spiciness of Italian sausage with a beer that has this kind of bitterness to it, and also with a beer that has a kind of malt flavor here. And I think that sweetness kind of will be brought out by that spiciness and the richness and the umami of the Italian sausage. I think that would be a really, really good pairing with this. And I also would not be afraid to do something like a broccoli rabe and sausage with this, because that rapini, that broccoli rabe, has some bitterness to it. A lot of people will avoid IPAs or heavily bitterness IPAs because they don't want to have too much bitterness in a dish. But because of the malt sweetness here, I would just like to try it. I'm not saying it would be a perfect pairing, but I'd like to do it myself. I don't have much left. I have one more can, so I might not be able to do it. But maybe one of you guys will try it and let me know how it works out. Thank you guys as always for joining us. Please poke around our YouTube channel. See some of the other videos that I'm doing. Give us a like, subscribe to us so you can see these videos on a regular basis. They'll come to your inbox. And tell us what we should be drinking. Tell us what your old favorite Friday beer is. We take a lot of inspiration, and we love to feature beers that you guys mention. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you next time. Cheers.